Hello and welcome to TheAIbumMan, and I have to say it is great to be making videos again. It has certainly been a while, and I'm going to be addressing that in a second. The first thing I want to say, as the title should have said, please do leave questions for the summer Q&A I am going to be doing, as obviously it would be a pretty crap Q&A if there were no questions, unsurprisingly, so please do leave those in the comment below as you watch this. So in general, this is just going to be an update. I'm going to be telling you where I was, some plans for the channel over the summer and going forward. So you may remember, if you've been subscribed to me, I don't know, for the last few months, that I announced a hiatus in May and the early part of June, which was due to my exams, and then I came back from that hiatus. I made a few videos, but then I just vanished after the 3rd of June, after I think my Sergeant Pepper review. I just vanished into thin air. So where did I go? Well, I didn't go anywhere, but what did happen was my camcorder decided that the screen was going to die, meaning that I obviously couldn't frame or position shots because the screen was just dead. And that was pretty inconvenient. Therefore I had to get it fixed, take it to a shop, and by the time it was actually fixed, it was a month had gone by, unfortunately, and I just had been unable to make videos. So it really was a shame. It was a completely unintentional hiatus. I talked about this on my Facebook page, and if you want updates about what goes on in the TheAIbumMan's world, then check in the Facebook page, link in the description below. And also, I mean, it's working now, the picture's working. The only downside is that when I turn the screen towards me, as I have it now, so that I can see how I'm positioned on the screen, make sure everything's okay. It used to, when I turn the screen, it used to automatically turn the picture so that I could see it just how well you're seeing it now. Instead, it shows me upside down. So I'm kind of looking at myself upside down, and that's not great. I don't really know why that's happened, but hey, at least the screen's working. Let's not take that for granted. So yeah, I've got a huge bloody backlog of stuff to do. First, as addressed, there's going to have to be a couple of CDs and vinyl I bought recently, particularly as I bought quite a few. There's some great stuff to talk about, and I haven't done it for May. The last one I did was April, so yeah, that's going to be caught up soon. Also, I did promise before my first of these two hiatuses that I'd be doing my top 100 albums of all time series. Well, that is going to be starting next week. I'm hoping to start that series, so that should be good. I mean, I did post my top 100 albums on my Facebook page. I don't know, one of these things you create a picture thing of it, but I'd like to talk more in depth about them for people who, of course, don't follow me on Facebook. I think it'd be a decent series. But the main thing to talk about, and of course the summer Q&A, don't forget, questions in the description below. Yeah, so the main thing, of course, album reviews. How many albums I have to catch up on and to review that I'm so desperate to talk about that have come out since this annoying as hell hiatus. So what are some of the new albums? Well, I'll just tell you a few from some of the bands. I'm definitely going to be covering albums from Anathema, Rival Sons, Blackstone Cherry, California Breed, Killer Be Killed maybe even a bit of Agalloch, certainly Black Keys, Mastodon, Seether most definitely, and mostly Autumn. There's some of the new releases I'm going to be covering. I've also got a really interesting, slightly older release I'm going to be covering, which you'll see in the next few days that I was sent. So that should be an interesting review. But as far as older reviews, well, I've got a couple of things planned. Firstly, discography-wise, Beatles discography is going to continue. Yes, sir, I finally got past the Master and the Sergeant Pepper, which means I now have, what, Magical Mystery Tour, EP, but I count it as a full album. In fact, it's an album I enjoy a lot. Then we have the White Album, then Yellow Submarine, I don't know if I'm really going to bother covering that, but certainly in Abbey Road and Let It Be. So I've broken the back of the Beatles discography, hoping to finish it by the end of summer, and hoping to start my Radiohead discography, which I promised a long time ago, and I've got many subscribers since then. So yes, I'm going to be doing a Radiohead discography, everything from Pablo Honey to The King of Limbs. Only studio albums though, so I'm not going to be talking about the I Might Be Wrong live album. I'm not going to be talking about any remix albums such as The King of Limbs remixed. It is simply just going to be their studio official release, no EPs either, so just the official studio release from Pablo Honey to The King of Limbs. Because Radiohead have just been a band I've been listening to and enjoying so much as of recent. I really loved it. I think they have such an interesting and varied discography, so much to say about the band, so I think they do well. Also, when it comes to retro reviews, a series that hasn't been around for a long time, so I will explain, is, let's just find some one sec, is random reviews are coming back. So what is random reviews, you may ask? Well, random reviews are very random. And what is so random about them? I pick them out of a hat, or in particular of this, the magic envelope. So how does an album get into the magic envelope, you might wonder? Well, basically submit it in the comments below. And pretty much most albums that submitted, it's only the odd one I've rejected. I remember I rejected a Blink-182 album because I'm not going near them. But pretty much everything I put in this magic envelope, and then I draw it, just literally at random, and then I'll review whatever album comes up. Simple as that. But seriously, I tend to be shorter form reviews, so instead my normal album reviews can be about 10 to 15 minutes. This tends to be more than the 5 to 10 minute mark, as they're brief, not track by track. But I mean, I haven't done this series since maybe November, maybe early December, and it's been a shame. I've just been so busy. But finally this summer, I really want to get it kickstarted again, so please, as well as the Q&A, feel free on either my Facebook page or, of course, on the YouTube comments below. It's like getting the below logo when I'm looking at myself upside down, or just doing this upside down is a little annoying. So if you see me point up, it's just because to me that looks down. Oh, this camcorder. Oh wow, at least it works. So yeah, I do also post any requests for random reviews. There's already a few in here from last time, quite a few, and I put the odd one in myself. The odd sort of retro album I like to cover, but it really is random. So yeah, that's a series that should be a bit of fun. A couple of things that are going to be, well, another series that's going to be returning that only ever had one episode, but I really enjoyed doing it. It's just so much hard work. Rock Tales. Now, what was Rock Tales? Rock Tales was a one-off thing I did. It was meant to be a whole series, but I never really got time to do the rest. In the first one, I basically investigated the rumours and myths, legends of whether Paul McCartney died in 1966, and in fact that was very successful. It is my biggest viewed video ever, has over 15,000 views, and is the most popular thing I've ever done. And a lot of people seem to really like that. I worked so hard on the research and editing, it took me hours and hours to compile that. But I'd really like to do a couple more exploring some things. So a couple of things I'm thinking about. Again, if you have any interesting things in rock history and metal history that you'd think would be good for the series, please again comment below. Now I'm asking you to comment a lot, but it's been a while since I made a video, so there you go. I was thinking of talking about the myths and legends surrounding Robert Johnson. I think he's a fascinating figure of early, of course, blues history. And another one I want to do is the origins of metal. And this is not just looking at whether Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath were the first metal band. No, I want to look even before that. I'm talking go back into the mid-50s and the 50s and really start looking at the first time distortion starts to be used, and some of the rock and roll bands to start to incorporate some things we'd associate with metal, and it's just some of the artists you never associate with metal, maybe you've never even heard of. I think that could be a really interesting video to, explore more depth on the origins of metal, instead of just talking about Sabbath, Zeppelin, or maybe if you get American, Steppenwolf and Blue Cheer, really start going back. So that's definitely something I plan to do. A couple other things, I suppose it's worth talking about the status of concert reviews. I've been to a lot of concerts really that I haven't reviewed in 2014, and do I really want to review all of them? No, I mean, it's not a series, my concert reviews, that many people seem to enjoy. Not saying it's that highly viewed. I think I'm only going to do concert reviews when it's particularly like special events. So for example, when I saw Dream Theater last, I'm not going to really bother reviewing them because I've reviewed Dream Theater before, firstly, and you know it was an interesting set list. In fact, I may already reviewed Dream Theater the second time. How bad is that? I can't even remember. If I did or didn't, I don't even know anymore. But still, unless it's like a really interesting sort of one-off type show, so I might review when I saw Camel perform music inspired by a snow goose in its entirety, because that was really interesting. I'm going to review Sonosphere. I recently went to Sonosphere Festival at Nebworth Park in, of course, the UK. And that was my first ever open-air outdoor festival, so that was exciting. I'd really like to record my thoughts on that whole experience. That would be pretty cool. And yes, some bands are well. I have tickets to see Opeth later this year. I'll probably review them, and Anathema as well. God, I'm so excited to see them. But there's some other bands I might not bother. I'm seeing The Ocean tomorrow. They released their Pelagia. They're playing that. It's entirely. I'm in iron weather to review that. I don't know. I don't know how many Ocean fans out there would like to know how good they are live. Hard to know. Also, I would like to make a return of my podcast, a Long Live Rock and Roll podcast on Mixcloud. I think it lasted 3 episodes, and then with exams, I just got caught up in that. But I thought that was a lot of fun. Not huge views, people viewing it, but I don't care really. It was enjoyable. The people who seemed to listen to it enjoyed it. It's if you don't know what that is, simply is on Mixcloud. So it is more like a radio style show. I effectively play songs because on Mixcloud, not strict on copyright on here, and I don't know. They have a way of doing things. So as long as you list the songs and the artist, it's okay apparently under fair use maybe, but who knows. To play the songs and things like that, so it's really cool, and sort of talk before and after, talk about my thoughts on it, things like that, and I like that show. I think it's an interesting one. Link in the description below, again, as everything seems to be below. I have a couple other things planned. I probably won't bother talking about it on this update to ramble on too long. Also, another thing you may have noticed, that I suppose I'll briefly talk about, is in some of my more recent views. But I mean, traditionally, I very much had a no editing style approach to album reviewing. I would record a video, I would basically put my intro onto it, cut out the bit where I turned off the camera at the end, and turn it on at the beginning, I suppose, and upload it. Now, I've started to do more jump cuts. I mean, not jump cuts, I hate it. I've never liked it when people just after a sentence, like now, as soon as there's pause, they just jump cut it. I don't think it needs that. I like the way that language flows, and I enjoy the natural flow of language myself when I'm listening to someone. I want it to feel like they're having a conversation with me, and I've always tried to have a more of a conversational style with my album reviews. But what I do quite like doing sometimes between tracks, I feel there's a very natural pause. There's no fluency between tracks, unless sometimes there is, and then I'll leave it, I won't. But I think sometimes doing a cut between tracks can be quite nice, and enables me also to just have a look through my notes, means I'm not as reliant on just staring at them, means my eyes more focused on the camera. So I think overall it creates a better, more professional looking product, and doesn't really impact, doesn't cause any jump cuts mid-sentence or things like that. So I think it's more of a tasteful way, but I've still started to adopt that a bit more. If you've wondered why you've seen the odd more sort of cut, they're quite subtle, the cuts, because I don't exactly move around much in my videos. I sit here, or on the odd occasion I stand, depending on what I feel like. But yeah, so thank you all for, I mean, my subscribers gone up. I'm somehow 825, so yeah, that's epic. 825 people want to watch this Ginger talk about album reviews. Epic. That's awesome. So hopefully you new subscribers won't unsubscribe. Hopefully. I don't know. But this has been TheAIbumMan. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and as usual, well, got to point at this upside down camera. Long live rock and roll. It's going to take some getting used to.